Hey, buddy, your host Superman in house, and of course, welcome to Hex Token Channel. We're going to look at the top 10 native projects on Pulsechain from my point of view. Now, there are coin listing sites and evaluation listing sites out there at the moment. I think the listings on some of them are way off. So here is my top 10, and of course, maybe that can help you think about these projects as well. So let's get into it, folks. Let's start off at the very top, and of course, Pulse obviously is the top of the leaderboard there. There's going to be an Ether proof of stake fork, and of course, Ethereum is worth about 180 billion at the moment during the bottom of the bear market. So you can imagine Pulsechain being the first proof of stake fork is going to be incredible. And of course, we're going to have 10-second block times, 32 million polls to validate. It's going to be absolutely fun time. So it's going to be pretty cool. We always currently using the phrase net deflationary as well, obviously with the burn and validator fees in there. So it's going to be fun to see Pulsechain. We can't wait for it. And of course, those 10-second block times, 2 seconds faster than than Ethereum. And of course, that should help with the net deflationary as well as obviously the experience. So Pulse, obviously at number one there. And of course, we know that the market values up these chains pretty heavily. In terms of thousands of X's we've seen in these chains get valued up. Pretty awesome. Obviously, Ethereum getting up to something like 15,500 X from its circa 30-cent launch price. So pretty incredible. All right, that is the first one. Number two, obviously PulseX, and both of these are Richard Heart tokens. Of course, you don't want to miss out on Richard Heart. The whole thing's designed to pump Richard Heart the projects, and of course PulseX is going to be a fork of Pancake Swap fork, and of course using Uni V2. In other words, having both sides of the pool being able to be added, which is a strength, right? You want to get one of those popular tokens in that trading pair. PulseX is that. Obviously, it's going to have a super competitive trading fee there, 0.29% on the trading fee, and of course the big buy and burn with about 0.07% of that for the buy and burn. It's also obviously going to have an incentive token as well, dual token system. To invite and entice liquidity providers, so they'll be getting the fees and yield farming with the incentive token, and of course they'll be participating in Pulsechain, the biggest airdrop in crypto history, and of course that's exciting. So that is number two. Number three, of course, is Hex itself. Hex on the ETH chain will get copied over to Pulsechain on the biggest airdrop, and of course there'll be Hex on the Pulsechain. So that's going to be awesome, and we may have very big, giant liquidity pools in there as well that tie ETH on. Hex on ETH and Hex on PLS together. And so that could be very interesting if we see that occur, which I suspect we will. And of course, Hex will be interesting. It will be cheaper on there for adoption. So we'll see things on Hex separate a little bit there with the share rate and staking and all that sort of stuff. And that's going to be fun. So Hex there, 2 passive income sounds pretty good to me. All of those, obviously, Richard Heart's tokens. And of course, those are the ones. If you don't do anything else, obviously, those are the ones I would suggest. Now, obviously, nothing on this channel is investment advice. You must do your own due diligence. That is the gold standard there from Richard Hart. Now, the other thing, of course, liquid loans is number 4 on my list. Now, 1 or 2 of these could get moved around, but at the moment, liquid loans is at the top there. And why is it? Well, it had the biggest sacrifice over $50 million. They're also building out infrastructure as well, supporting this with Teller, Oracle, multisig, and a few other things, SQL Graph and stuff. They've also, obviously, this is a Liquidy fork, so Liquidy is operating on the Ethereum blockchain, and Liquidy at the moment is worth about $97 million on there, and about 550 million in total value locked. So on Liquidy, so that's pretty cool. Whereas on PulseX, something similar might be Uniswap, and that's worth about 4.7 billion. So you can see the comparison there. Hex, of course, is worth 6.6 billion on Ethereum, so you can see the rankings go pretty nicely, leading us down to Liquidy here as well. So this is going to be pretty cool. The one thing, of course, they have really strong social media. So Matt running Liquid Loans, YouTube, they have a lot of ambassadors out there with Warris and other people out there, crazy crypto editors, CEO, and other people like that. So this Liquidity fork, they're going to obviously provide one of our alpha stable coins. I think this will probably be the dominant one, although I think it's going to be competed with a couple other native stable coins, and that's USDL. Loan token, of course, is the native staking there as well, and you get to earn fees, which is pretty nice. So liquid loans there, it's going to be pretty awesome. I got that number 4. Now, because they've got over $50 million, you're going to need a lot more. The upside X return may be on the lower X's, but the total value could be very significant given the strong social media, the big following, and of course, all the strategies that people are going to play on liquid loans, like the hoarded strategy, the hot pool strategy, and others like that. Number 5 is Power City. Power City at the moment is actually climbing up the ranks, to be honest. It is building out such a suite of products and utilities that's going to be hard to beat Power City. Now they're building up their socials, so they're improving. Core is their main staking site where you put the Watt token, the native token. They still have their sacrifice open, so you can still participate in this. So $1 for 1 point, no expectations. And then of course they got their amplifier that's actually going to build. The amplifier is actually going to build on top of liquid loans there as well, and optimize those returns with compounding. So that's pretty neat. And then, of course, Pixel Park is going to be their own NFT marketplace. Now, obviously, NFT is a huge part of crypto, and this should be a very, very big deal. Now, I've got a plus sign there because they're saying that they're going to have features in there that are going to be amazing and make OpenSea and places like that very envious. So looking forward to that on Pixel Park. Transformer as well. They're going to have the transformer, and that means you'll be able to a super DEX swap, which is going to make it seamless to swap tokens from chain to chain, over 20 chains and thousands of trading pairs. And that's actually a huge thing for Pulsechain and Pulsex. So I suspect that that's going to be a big part of the valuation of Power City. And as you get potentially hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people potentially using this transformer bridge, because it's going to be so easy, that could be a real game changer. And of course, they have their partner with multi-chain, so that's huge. The next one, of course, is the Earn Liquidy fork. So they're also forking Liquidy like liquid loans, but they're going to use PLSX, so the PulseX DEX rather than liquid loans, which is going to use the PLS token for its coin for its basis for getting stable coins and stuff like that. So I think that's cool. You're basically the collateral. So that's going to be great. They're going to have PLSX there. I think that's a very strong move. And of course, that's going to give us 2 strong stable coins. Very exciting indeed. So we'll have USDL from Liquid Loans, and of course the PLSX stable here from Power City. Going to be very important there. And of course, you'll have all the same benefits there, getting stable coins and earning on there. Huge valuation here. I mean, think about all the utilities here are really big, and of course market segments as well with NFTs. So that is number 5, Power City, and this is probably the one that could move around the most in terms of its position here for me. We'll be watching it very closely. Now, the next one is number 6. Number 6 is Fiat, and Fiat is a fork of Aave, and of course Aave is one of the top ranked DeFis on Ethereum, and Aave's market cap is 1.3 billion, so it's pretty big. And of course, we may see a massive ramp up on Fiat. Now, Fiat had a very small sacrifice, only in the several millions of dollars. So they have potential big X's upsides, and of course, big market cap upside as well. Now, that is subject to good marketing and people using the platform. But if it gets even a fraction of Aave, this could be worth a lot of money. Now, basically, this is like a bank. People can deposit, people can lend, but they also have some more exotic use cases for it, like debt swaps, interest rate swaps, and I think they're going to add on extra features like flash loans, one block flash loans, and things like that. So potentially very big. Number 7 is by the same team as Fiat, is the Famous, and of course they are doing a GMX fork. GMX is pretty highly ranked as well. They've got a market cap of 582 million on Ethereum, and of course Famous is doing sacrifice at the moment. So at the moment we've still got a Power City sacrifice open, and also the Famous sacrifice, and they're forking GMX, so a decentralized margin trading platform. And of course we know how big margin trading is on centralized platforms, centralized exchanges. And so we want to get a lot of that over into decentralized finance. And of course, Famous is going to help with that with the GMX fork. Now, GMX has been ranked up pretty high. It's in the top, I think, top 160 on the coin market cap listing. So it's pretty highly ranked. And like I say, with almost a $600 million market in the bear market. And of course, a lot of those volumes have been going up with margin trading. So very impressive indeed. I think they recently had $1 billion in trading volume, in total trading volume over time. I think they've got open interest, which is basically positions that people got open, is about 150 million last time I checked. So it's pretty high. So that should be pretty exciting there. So these two working together by the same team, you could imagine they're going to do pretty well from a financial point of view. So that's number 7. And number 8 is a Mintra. That's NFT again. So we see Power City's got Pixel Park. Mintra's got NFT. Now we do have other NFT platforms. How to Pulse has got one. But these are the 2 that are sort of standing out at this stage. How to Pulse probably the 3rd one that will probably come into this top 3 native projects. But Mintra NFT by Gerardo, one of the big YouTubers in the space, been pretty quiet, obviously, doing other things at the moment. But Mintra looks like that could be a major player in the NFT space as a native project. So that's pretty cool. Number 9 is this is where we get into more wildcards, but is the Coast team. They've been rising through the ranks, and of course they're looking to do a stable coin, probably Pulse USD or previously known as CST. The on-ramp and off-ramp, of course, through banks. Looks like they're going to go global. So this is going to be a really cool thing. I suspect that this will be taken up really well as one of our Fiat on-ramps, off-ramps. We do have Overwatch, Rack and Michelle, although we haven't had a lot of news from them, but they've got centralized exchange and on-ramp, off-ramp coming through that. And of course, that's looking also to have a listing site and support the Pulse chain. Now, when we get more information on that, that will probably jump into the top 10 here and push 1 or 2 of these down. So just take that into account with the Overwatch, Rack and Michelle. Also, our biggest whale in Pulse and PulseX, right? So that's pretty important. They also have a 3 token ecosystem. Obviously, one of those is the weight token. People can claim that too, and we're looking forward to that as well. They also look like they also have some benefits for Hex. People who have got Hex as well, possibly in terms of fees. So we'll be looking out for that. Now, number 10 is Internet Money. I've got an asterisk on this one too. Internet Money is great. I mean, obviously, MetaMask, they make something like $150 million, I think, in 2022. And of course, they got market cap, a valuation of about 13.3 billion MetaMask. So you can imagine that Internet Money has potentially to be huge. It's going to be multi-chain that has finished the multi-chain sacrifice. They're going to be launching, from the looks of it, in the next 6 or 7 weeks. And of course, that's fantastic coming to Pulsechain. And of course, they have profit sharing, they have referrals, they got everything. All the swap fees go back to the people, unlike MetaMask, where all the profits go to the centralized agency there. So that's really cool. And this got a wildcard because why it's got an asterisk, all that good stuff I just told you, well, really it needs adoption, right? So it's still going to get adoption. That's the big question. You can have a great product, you're still going to get adoption there. And I think they're doing a pretty reasonable job in terms of socializing the product. So optimistic, and that's why it makes my top 10. So that's my top 10 native projects on Pulsechain at the moment. Obviously, I'll update this as information comes. And like I say, the only thing that's not on here that really should be is the Overwatch, Rack and Michelle projects. But as we get more information, they may very well jump into this list somewhere. Hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a comment in the video description once again. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Let me know your projects that you are really liking, but really think about the valuations and where they might actually head, as opposed to perhaps a bit of excitement about the project, because that's what I've done. Really looked at the valuations on Ethereum, and of course valuing the utility and probability of these projects as well. So all right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Bye for now. Take care.